everybody. For the first time ever, welcome to The Chase with Jace. And I have as my co-host here today, Marcus Randall, Mr. Bluegrass Miracle himself. And we want head coach. Coach, always a pleasure.
What's up, baby? Glad to have you in here, man. Glad to be part of this, man. Especially the first inaugural show, man. I mean, it's going to be a good one.
I'm so excited. I appreciate you and Andy for just giving me this opportunity to put on this show. It could be big trouble giving this guy the keys to the Corvette, you know. So,
but
we're gonna have fun with it. There's a lot to talk about, and I know there's been a lot going on these last couple of weeks. And actually, my first really event to really cover for y'all, ever since joining Gridiron, was the Randall Passing Academy, the quarterback camp that y'all put on this year. Coach, so I believe this was this the first of like quarterback camp event that y'all have?
Yeah, this is the first one. Basically I've been asked over the years to put on some camps, and obviously I've been working guys out, but to put a camp on, and I just felt like the time was right. I got with my brother Eric, and then we got with one of our other brothers from Glen Oaks that actually just took the Houston Texan quarterback job, Ted White, and he said it was a go, and so we definitely wanted to get this thing up and rolling and to touch as many quarterbacks as we could as we approaching this 2022 football season.
I mean, that's a lot of star power right there. I mean, just the time at Glen Oaks too. I mean, just back to back to back. It's insane. Well, it wasn't exactly back to back to back, but it was all kind of following each other.
In that order, right. Yeah, my brother kind of came through, finished it in 92. Ted followed him up in 94, and then I came and finished it up in 2000. And we all came from the Bandits organization, which is a Little League organization that was in our neighborhoods too. So we all kind of grew up under the same kind of tutelage, the same kind of mentoring, and we followed each other, and everybody just picked it up and took that notch just a little bit higher.
And what made y'all just decide, hey, let's put on the quarterback academy, a quarterback camp? I know I caught the end of when you were talking to the guys after that. Louisiana, quarterback's not the first position you think of when you're talking about producing players at the next level.
Correct.
But at the quarterback position, just the recent years, and really in the Baton Rouge area, it's been really insane with all the guys that have gone on to play in college football. And I know a lot of it has to do with what you and your brother and Ted really started.
Well, basically coming back and starting around the passing academy, we actually started in 2016. So the thing was, it's kind of like what you just said. Everybody was like, man, they got a lot of athletes coming out of there, man. They're leading the capital in the NFL, but they can't produce quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So being a quarterback, and my brother being a quarterback, we kind of took that personal and said, well, if we're going to start producing quarterbacks, then you got to have some tools. Not only because we was already coaching guys like Levi Lewis already, being able to touch one guy, but we're saying how can we start touching these guys earlier? Because that's where a lot of the development come in, getting these guys to seeing defenses now. Because if you're young playing in tackle football, a lot of times you don't get a chance to go through a lot of these things because most of them want to give it to the best player every time just to win. So the development of a quarterback was never really put on the pedestal like that. So, starting around the Passing Academy in 2016, taking young guys, to Texas and different places to play in 7-on-7 so they can kind of see what other states and other guys had already been welcomed to. And that's why you saw quarterbacks come from all them different areas, because they was already getting groomed to be that. And that's why we wanted to start that grooming early, and it's picked up. And like you said, I've seen guys that have come through us and that have touched other guys that have taken the quarterback position serious. And now you're starting to see more of those guys come from down here.
I mean, obviously with the rookie Collins, of course, your quarterback, but going back to Levi, like you said, and Zion Chris from Madison Prep, he's now with the Raging Cajuns. Mm-hmm. So just passing it back to the community, passing it forward, and that's what y'all doing. It's all about the kids. It's all about the community. And what I loved about the event was, of course, there were the big names. I mean, it was Ricky, it was Dewanye. but it was also the young quarterbacks.
Correct.
Also, most of the quarterbacks there were young quarterbacks getting to work and trying to get their foot in the door.
Well, those are the guys that really need the help. I mean, obviously, all quarterbacks need to keep, honing their skills, but those are the guys that we definitely wanted to focus on, because those would be the guys that you could touch for multiple years, see their growth, see how they're progressing as a quarterback. You get a chance to have a camp like this, then they go play their season, and obviously we're going to follow those guys now that they came to the camp and we know who they are. We're going to follow them, watch them, and every time that we get a chance to touch them, we're going to definitely be honing them up to, making their skills better.
And as far as like what y'all exactly working on with the quarterbacks, like that was the goal for this quarterback camp. Going into it, what was just like, okay, we want to accomplish this with these young guys? What did y'all want to focus on as a coaching staff for the event for these young quarterbacks?
Well, we basically want to bring them in and be able to, work on a lot of different things, footwork, throwing mechanics, and let them see what, next level coaching could look like. Everybody don't have a quarterback coach at their school. That's just what it is. I mean, especially high school, or one that, seasoned to be able to give you just that little bit extra. So that's definitely what we want to, and build a relationship with these guys. Like you said, it's a lot of young guys that came out. Build a relationship with them, let them know if there's anything that they need or can, needed to call back on, or as they progressing through their careers. And man, we always be here with them, and it's almost like family now.
Mm-hmm. It is almost like family. I can see just like the relationship just behind closed doors and being around with y'all. I can definitely see that go through. And who were some of those young quarterbacks that really stood out to you, just for their age and their development?
Just talk about the young guys. I mean, you got two guys that came from Central. You got Fortney, and then you got Jackson Furman. Those guys, I thought threw the ball well. Had some great mechanics coming in, and I could see doing some great things. You got Cortland Brownfield that's at U-High. Another young guy, 2025 guy that's going to be competing over there. You got Nico Victorian, that's at Cali High, another 2025 guy that can sling it. He used to playing baseball too as well. That can sling it around. So I'm looking forward to seeing him as he progress and move forward over there at Cali High. You got Jared Botley, 2026 guy that's at Southern Lab, that's competing right now for to be able to play now on varsity. And again, looking forward to seeing him. He actually played for RPA 7-on-7 this past spring, and I seen his growth and seeing him come to camp and seeing the things he's doing. I think he's got a bright future. Myron Nelson, that'll be the guy who y'all see taking over after Ricky leave. That'll be another guy. And then we got Clayton Adams, that's my son. He's coming in as a 9th grader. So we got a lot of guys in this area. I know I'm missing a few that was there, but it's a plethora of guys coming up playing this position that's already locked in tune, and I look forward to helping those guys and watching those guys grow in the quarterback position.
And another thing that stood out to me from watching the camp, it was, like you said, 2 guys from Central, 2 guys from this school. It was quarterbacks currently in the quarterback competition at their school,
right,
both going to the camp to try to get better, because, they're 16-year-old kids. They could go out and just have fun in the summertime, but they decide, hey, I want that extra time to try and get myself an advantage over the other guy.
Well, you got to have it, because like you say, more people are putting more emphasis on the quarterback position down here. You got different guys that's not only around the passing academy. You got other guys that's kind of focusing in on the quarterback position and helping these guys. So anytime you get a chance to get better, you better be getting better, because there's somebody else pushing you. And like you say, some of them might be at your own school, so you gotta keep fighting and keep getting better. You either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same. So if you think that you could take off, somebody else working. So man, glad to see the competition. It was good competition. Everybody trying to push themselves to get better, and that's the only way we can get better.
And 2 more questions as far as the event goes. Now, did the expectations for the event, did it exceed expectations for the first time? Or did it meet your expectations, or where do y'all think y'all can grow from here on out?
I think it met the expectations. We definitely didn't want it to be too big by being the first one. We wanted to make sure that the first one, we were able to touch each kid, man, and allow them to get as many reps as they can. Some camps that you go to, there's so many kids, you don't get that many reps, and And this is a game where it takes repetition. Man, you got to have muscle memory. So the more reps you can do it, the more time that you can perform it, and we can see you and get coached up on it. And it's perfect. I mean, we were right at about 20. In between 20 and 25 quarterbacks there and about 40 wide receivers. So I mean that's a great number. That's what we want. That's what we pretty much aim. We aim for 20 guys. It was a little bit over, but I think all the guys got the work that we were looking to give them.
And Coach, give a shout out to, I know we talked about, the main guys, your brother, Coach Ted White as well. Well, that's huge. Coach White coming from the Houston Texans, just go back to his community there. But there are a lot of really good coaches around the area. Like Coach Landry Williams was there working.
Coach Landry Williams, I mean, he's a big time wide receiver as a player, and he's one of the top coaches in the area. So he's there. You got Coach Tremont Douglas, that's also Grambling Hall of Famer, Bayou Classic Hall of Famer. That's their coaching wide receivers up. We got Coach Anthony Jones, another guy that's that's big in the coaching game right now. He's coached a lot of great wide receivers. Levi Lewis, like you mentioned, he was there giving back and coming in. He's actually about to go off to Canada, so he came in right before he was leaving to go and play. You got my guy Bobby from California that came in, did the strength and conditioning. Your Ruba Harris with Level 3 Sports, Tim Brown. Marcus Singleton, another guy that worked with the wide receiver that played at McNeese, played wide receiver that's now refereeing, so they're getting to see it not only from a player stand and a coach. Man, you getting the referee aspect of it too. So those are the guys that came out and that got a plethora of experience and knowledge about this game, and we're all from this area.
Last question, Coach, in regards to the camp. What are the upcoming events coming up? What y'all got some stuff planned on the next couple of months?
Well, now with the season starting, a lot of these guys are going to be with their teams and doing some of those things. I know we have talked about doing some things maybe on Sunday called like a reset session where the guys can just kind of come in and just kind of get focused and get back reset for the upcoming week. So those are some things that we've talked about doing if time permits, but because we definitely want to keep touching these guys. Cause we know just coming to a camp one time doesn't make you better. You got to keep working on this in and week in and week out, and that's what we want to be able to be that be that company for them so they can call back and do some things. But I know when the spring hit, we obviously going to be back to 7-on-7, back to working out, getting ready for the next year.
And as far as parents of quarterbacks and young quarterbacks that want to get involved with the Randall Passing Academy, who they should contact and who they should get involved with?
They could DM Randall Passing Academy on Instagram. You can just DM it. That's where most of our messages go, and we contact you back right there.
Okay, awesome. Here are a couple clips. Don't take Coach Randall's word for it, but also Levi Lewis, Ricky Collins, DeWante Winfield. Here's what they had to say about their experience at the Randall Passing Academy.
So next year, we want you to bring a friend. Bring a friend.
First off, I want to just say thanks to Coach Marcus Randall, Eric Randall. We got Ted White here. All those guys played at Glen Oaks, but Marcus Randall and Eric Randall, those guys, they coached me, my sophomore year and my freshman year. So it's just a big kudos to those guys for, allowing me to come back and, get back to the youth.
It was great to see people that have been there at the college level and at the NFL level. It's great. You get to see all the drills, stuff you need to improve in. They at least they tell you what you need to improve in. That's a good thing for all quarterbacks that want to get in and work harder and get to know the things that they're weak at. It's a good camp for us.
It was good to come out here and learn from Ted White and Coach Randall and Eric Randall, and Levi Lewis is out here demonstrating. So been working out with those guys for a long time, so be able to come out here and learn new tidbits and add to my toolbox. So it was really great.
Okay, but as we transitioned and we went to different schools and different colleges, we still kept in contact. Guys that I call and reach out to seek advice, to talk about quarterback play, anything that I possibly can do to allow these guys to continue to be great coaches, I'm all for it. All right, so when we talked, Marcus and myself, and along with Tim Brown and Ruben Harrison, talked about doing a quarterback camp, it was a no-brainer. All right, I don't care where I was coming to support my brothers, okay? And we got training camp on Saturday, all right, but that doesn't matter, just being able to pour back into the community, allow guys to be better, not only at the quarterback position, but be educated on the college recruiting process, be educated on how to read coverages from a quarterback position, been educated on what college coaches look for when they go recruiting student athletes out of high school. That means the world to me. All right, so if we're able to give information back to these kids to allow them not only to be great football players, but great husbands, great businessmen, all right, great people in society, all right, we're able to do that. And I'm happy that I was able to come back and assist. I'm happy with the turnout because it is hot out there. It is humid. All right, but at the quarterback position, you're going to be able to find some type of adversity that's going to put you in an awkward situation that you got to be able to get out of. So it shows you just the mentality of the kids that we have here, that these guys want to work. Not only they want to work, but they want to get better. All right, and if we're able to pour information into these guys and allow them to get better, all right, I'm all for it.
Welcome back to the Chase with Jace. Hope you enjoy those quick quotes from all those players about the Randall Paxton Academy and the quarterback camp. So you heard from the campers themselves about how that event went. And then later this week, I showed Coach Randall and I also showed Andy. But I was there. I could have put a 3-hour thing for that day, but I have a video of all the events that were going on, all the drills that were going on. Y'all coaching the players as well, coaching them up, just giving the folks a visual look of what it's like to go through the Randall Paxton Academy quarterback camp. So that's actually going to be on Gridiron Football's YouTube channel later this week. I mean, it's a busy week, so that's why we kind of had to delay some stuff, but we'll also post that about sometime later this week, so make sure to check that out.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's talk about the Woodlawn Panthers. Obviously, Coach, I know you're the head coach for the Panthers this year. Y'all coming off a 6-5 winning season. Y'all won a playoff game, went to the second round. Y'all played against Destrehan, which is a 5A powerhouse, and that's a really good measuring stick for y'all playing Destrehan. And y'all also close game too.
Right.
I mean, 29-20. But how much of a measuring stick it was, playing that game and seeing where y'all are at?
It was great. Actually, coming off the first playoff win since I'm thinking like 2010, and winning district, I think since 2010 for the first time. That was basically some huge measurements for us and some huge accomplishments for us as well. But playing at Destrehan in the second round, at Destrehan, hostile environment, taking it down to the wire, coming down to that 2-point conversion right there, kind of at the end. And basically just seeing where you are and seeing where we've taken this program to from since I got there in 2019 to where it is now, and we've made some huge jumps. A lot of people told me that it wasn't going to be able to be done. By the time I got there in 2019, they were just moving up to 5A. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a lot of winning going on. Just the spirit wasn't up around, and being able to have to come in and in 3 years being able to compete and win district and make it to the second round, I think that definitely got our guys' confidence up and let them know that they can win big games, and that'll be something that'll catapult us to this 2023 year.
And this 2023 year, I tell you what, if it's not for the NFL or the SEC West, y'all may have the next toughest schedule right behind them, because I looked at, and we'll pull the schedule up on the screen right here, but I mean, it's just unbelievable looking at it. U-High, LCA, Carver, E.D. White, St. James, and then y'all get to district. And the district's probably the toughest in the state. I mean, I'll put my money on
Gotta
it.
be.
It has to be Zachary, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Liberty with Caleb Jackson, their running back, is committed to LSU. Catholic High, they won the state championship last year. And also, by the way, you got Central and Scotlandville to round it up. So how important is it to really talk these kids about really taking your focus on one game at a time, especially with a schedule like that?
That's the goal, man. To go 1-0 every week. I know a lot of guys are putting the pressure out there, putting the expectations out there, which we do embrace. But about winning state and all, but everything got to start week by week, and we gotta go 1-0 every week. I mean, you can't play all 10 games at one time. I mean, so you gotta be able to be able to hear the noise and be able to block out the noise at times. And the season is here now, so it's a week by week thing. And we definitely know the task that's at hand, and cause we did make the schedule, and we definitely going to take it one game at a time. But man, we definitely want to see a lot of these guys. I want to play against some competition, so we don't want no false securities as we hit district. So I think that we pretty much packed it up well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely tight, and it's definitely going to give y'all a team of measuring stick throughout the whole year, where y'all be towards the, of course, playoff time and the end of the regular season. And we'll actually have an intern that's going to be following around with y'all all year long. He's probably got the best internship in the country, knowing that that's what he has to do. See them against y'all, against Catholic and Scoutenville and those guys. And this is a perfect reason why we have the show today, because it was announced yesterday, publicly, about y'all having the game against Zachary on national television. You have Ricky Collins against Eli Holstein. Get your popcorn ready, because that is going to be a good one to watch.
We had a great game last year. They Zachary ended up winning it by 7, but it went down to the wire last year, and I'm looking for another great game this year, and it'll be the start of the district. So I mean, it'll be getting fired up, and we'll know exactly where we stand. They're a powerhouse year in and year out. Coach Brewers got those guys rolling over there, and we'll be just trying to go ahead and kind of flip the switch if we can.
And I know Catholic, that's going to be a big time game as well. I know y'all. The last 2 years were insane. I know last year y'all defeated Catholic, and that was their only loss of the season last year. And the year before, y'all should have beat Catholic year before. So it's becoming a really good rivalry between y'all two.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, those guys have a great team over there. Always have a great coach, even though they've changed coaches to Coach Seminole. He brought the same kind of intensity, same expectations over there to Catholic High that they've been having, and be able to play those guys and to play them the way we played them the last 2 years, man, it has been great. I think it built the buzz up for this year again, for the new district that is. Even though it's a new district, I think. We'll be still around about the top. Catholic High, you got Zachary, and I'm just excited about this thing, man. It's almost here.
Talk about a quarterback district. That really is a quarterback district. Not only with Eli, Ricky, but Zay T-Set from Scoutenville. He's a guy that's always flying under the radar, getting his name out there. But he's just as good, and there's a good chance he's going to be a Division I quarterback as well.
Correct. He's a guy that, I know we talked about Randall Pass Academy earlier. He's a guy that's been in Randall Pass Academy since maybe 5th, 6th grade. And so he's a guy I watched grow up from young, and he's just been getting better and better as he's been going on. He's another, in my mind, Power 5 guy. I think we got 3 or 4 Power 5 quarterbacks and right here in our district. So, like you say, I know this is one of the toughest districts, if not the toughest district in the state, probably in the country. When you start talking about those kind of things, and not just the program that's winning, but the caliber of players that's on each one of these teams.
Yeah, there's no slouch among the group, and all these teams are going to be playoff teams that all can compete to go for a deep run. Just looking from top to bottom. Now, as far as a winning type of formula this year, Coach, I know y'all have a lot of talent, that's obvious, but this is the style of football that we need to play to beat these guys. What does the team need to do each and every week? What is that winning type of formula for y'all? What does Panthers football mean to y'all?
Playing consistent, not being that roller coaster team, that get high, but that can go low. Being able to stay even keel, being able to be consistent in the run game, pass game, and playing defense, and taking care of the football. Not turning the ball over. I think last year, if you look at some of our games, U-High game, we having a lot of opportunities. We fumble one in the end zone. We get a big interception, then we ended up big play there. Ricky gets hit as he's delivering it, and we ended up throwing back an interception. Different game, and even in the playoff game when we are coming through and we making that late push, and we already getting that momentum, and then we break one for about 30, 40 yards, and we fumble right in that midfield. So it's just protecting the football is going to be big. Playing special teams is going to be big for us this year. Using it as the third unit that it is as a weapon, and I think everything else will take care of itself.
Coach, do y'all have a specific theme or a message to the guys? Because I know, when my dad was a coach, they would have or he was around Coach Stefano at Plaquemine, they would have all a theme for the year, or just a constant message. Did y'all come up with a theme this year for those guys?
Not yet.
Is there a message? Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I know week to week, man, it's gonna be a theme out there week to week because we're gonna be getting up ready to play, and if that's what it takes for those guys to get hyped up and to get mentally ready for the game, then we're going to definitely have that out there.
And Coach, talk about the new additions to the coaching staff.
I know that this year we brought in Coach Chris Morgan from East St. John, and he's taking over as the defensive coordinator. Actually, Coach Broussard moved up to the athletic director this year. So he had been the defensive coordinator the last 2 years. So we brought a guy in, a young guy, a lot of energy. Guys love him already. They're taking a big liking to him. So, and he's getting the most out of him all summer long. And since he got there, really in the spring, but all summer long, he's been working those guys. Those guys been showing up, and I'm looking to have a great year with him.
And another reason why this is a perfectly timed interview with Coach Randall, just this past Saturday, it was the Woodlawn Media event, and it was a great event, and we can't appreciate y'all for putting it on, and it was a great day. We feel like family going there. I mean, we get treated well by the Gridiron Club, the Quarterback Club, the football club, so it was definitely a great time to be there. I interviewed a lot of guys at the event. A lot of senior leadership, and you have to be proud of these guys because they really handled themselves well on camera. And really, another reason why we know about the talent. I mean, we know about Ricky and Jordan and Roy, and all down the line. But there's a lot of senior leadership on this team, so that's another reason why there's a lot of high expectations for this year group. Just talk about those seniors and what they really mean to this program.
Man, they mean whole bunch to this program. Like I said, these are the guys that came in 2019 as I came in, and these guys stuck together. They pulled through the ups and downs, and like I said, last year I think they got a chance to see some of the fruits of their labor, and I think this year that they're going to see even more of that. Man, they sowed some great seeds over here at Woodlawn, and they are the reason why we had this thing turned around. And just to talk about Media Day, that was a great event. I felt not only just to have these guys to get some media attention, but for those guys to be able to use some of the other things that we talk about and that we preach to them and teach to them, for as interviewing skills, for as talking to guys and being able to use complete sentences and being able to use all of those different things that's going to help you not only on football but it's going to help you in life.
It was also a team bonding event because it wasn't just a media day for y'all, but it was a team barbecue, team cookout for y'all. So it was another way for these guys to have some time together off the field, and how important that is, because we talk a lot about having chemistry on the field, but off the field is just as important.
Correct. Well, you don't gain a lot of chemistry on the field if you don't have any off the field, because some of these things that have to take place during the midst of a game, it might have to be some non-verbal communication. It get louder in some of those stadiums. Some of the things that you may come up with might come at a barbecue, man, and this is what we're going to do, tomorrow. I give you this look, then that mean this. And those are some of the things that good teams have. If you see a lot of championship teams, they have a lot of good chemistry, not only on the field, but off the field.
That is right, Coach. That is right. So, and speaking of that media event, we have a couple of interviews that I've conducted with a lot of these players, a lot of these seniors. And, Coach, before I go into that, any seniors they want to give a shout-out to just for how they be able to handle themselves and take that leadership?
Man, all of them. I can't really just pinpoint one over the other right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they all doing a great job. Most of all these guys are honor roll students. If you go look at their GPAs, I mean, these guys have really been the true meaning of student athletes, and it's spreading all around our school, it's spreading all around our community, and it's now starting to spread all through this city right here, and that's what we really want to be able to be pillars for the community, and not just the people at Woodlawn High School, man. We trying to give hope to the whole city.
Well, check out these interviews from the Woodlawn, the media event, some of the top seniors for the Panthers this year. Check this out. All right. Jace Lejeune here from Gridiron Football. Here with a very familiar name here in the Baton Rouge area for the class of 2023, and that's Woodlawn senior cornerback Jordan Matthews. And Jordan, I know a couple days ago you posted your tweet about narrowing down your top 3 colleges. What sticks out to you most to make that decision to narrow it down to Michigan, to Tennessee, and Texas?
I would say all of them take me as a priority. All of them either they want me real bad or they need me on their team. And I feel like that's a key part of my decision. And they all have me, playing to play early, or get major PT or start. So that's a big part of my recruitment.
Let's narrow it down by each school. What do you like most? What attracts you most about Michigan?
I would say Michigan. I would say the brain around the name. Of course, they're sponsored by Jordan. And, the Black M is known everywhere around the world. So Michigan is definitely that good brand.
Okay, Tennessee. What draws your attention to Tennessee?
Tennessee, with Coach Hype coming off that great year. His first year he went 76. That's a big feat. And then them just needed me as a priority again. That's a big thing. And then Coach Martinez, he has developed so many guys in the past. I feel like I can be that next guy at Tennessee.
And then also at Texas, what draws your attention to the Longhorns?
Again, with Coach Sark, he's definitely transparent with his recruits. Really with his top recruits. He calls me every twice a week. That's big in my recruitment. He get to know the head coach with the DC and the corners coach. So I feel like that's a good part.
What are some things that you're reflecting on, just looking at all 3 options? I know it's hard to make decisions. It is hard to make decisions. But what are some factors that you're looking for that will help you make those decisions?
My 3 factors would be playing early as a freshman, with a major PT or starting. Number 2 would be development for the NFL, and they develop me into a great man on and off the field. And 3 would be the learning and networking around the school, like kind of like I'm talking about this. And they provide for me after football, as much as they can provide me when I'm playing. So that's my thing.
There are a lot of really good recruits in this area of Baton Rouge, and you're friends with a lot of them. I mean, rookies on this team, and there's a couple with Zachary and Catholic. What's your just relationship with all of these really talented recruits in the Baton Rouge area?
We have a great relationship. Of course, we talked about, maybe going to the same school or whatever, but we all like to take our own paths, our own beliefs. We'll see how it all pans out. Shelton's coming today, so can't wait to see what that is. Me and Ray's coming in a couple of weeks probably, so yeah. We'll see.
I know LSU is not one of those options, but just describe a relationship with LSU, knowing that this is Baton Rouge. Just what's been kind of the process with them before you narrow down those 3 schools?
Coach O said really recruited me pretty early. This staff kind of got on me a little later, so I kind of took that into account. So they kind of got some out-of-state guys before they kind of recruited us. So all that goes to my recruitment. Like I said, priority is a big thing for me. So that's kind of why LSU is towards my top.
Okay, no, before we talk about the team and focus on the team this year, one more time, when and where they can find the commitment. Just talk about just the details of that event.
August 15th at 2 o'clock, Woodlawn High School Gym. Where we are right now is going to be the commitment. I might go on Instagram Live. We'll see, but I will have a commitment video for the people that's not here. So.
Yeah, how important is it to make that decision so you can focus on this year, so for your senior season and trying to win a state championship?
That was one of my goals. Even when I started recruiting, my dad was like, "You want to do it over, get it over with before the season, so you can focus on your senior season, get with your brothers, build that bond, and take them all the way to the state championships."
And it's definitely helpful that your dad played in college football, LSU Southern. Your brother went through this process, and he's a starting receiver at Manise. What is some advice that you've given? What's the best advice you've been given from your dad and your brother?
I would say at the collegiate level, time management, managing your time between academics and athletics, all the meetings, early mornings, timeouts, 5 o'clock lists, all that good stuff. You got to manage the time well. Don't go out every night. So all that good stuff. They've been there and they know what it's like. So it's probably
this season, what's just been the constant message that Coach Randall has really taught y'all or told y'all this season, knowing that this is a group with a lot of high expectations this year?
I would say leadership. Me, Ricky, Roy, Desiree, Delmore, Clayton, all of them being leaders on the team, that's going to help, not only us become better, but our teammates. So, that's what it's like.
And what is your relationship with Ricky? I mean, I know y'all go against each other every day in practice. What's it like playing against a quarterback rookie that helps your game get better?
That's probably one of the biggest things that help me because, during the season, you don't have time to go out and find other quarterbacks because they're practicing with their team. So Ricky being I feel the number one quarterback in the nation, I feel like that can benefit me each and every day.
Now, what are your individual goals, and as far as what you're trying to get better on for your senior season before going to the college of your choice?
I would say just checking all the boxes. IQ, footwork, hips, one-on-one situations, man-to-man zone, everything in my hand. I don't want to just focus on one thing. Everything slacks off, so everything in my toolbox I want to get better.
2 more questions. What do you think you can bring, what kind of player, whoever you commit to, is going to get when you arrive on campus?
I would say a dog. IQ guy, not just out there just playing, just to play. Long corner, they can lock down one side of the field. Be a dog out there in an hour.
And last question, Jordan, we're going to make it fun. So you and your brother go against each other a lot. So right now, who do you think wins that match?
I'm saying, I don't know. My teammates can vouch for me too, but I would say me. But he does give me sometimes, because he's a bigger guy, so he kind of bullied me sometimes and everything. But he's gonna make me better at the end of the day.
Well, there he is, one and only Jordan Matthews, Woodlawn High School senior quarterback this year, one of the best in the nation. And check him out August 15th and see where he will commit to. This is Jay Sojourn from Gridiron Football with Tremont Douglas from Woodlawn High School, senior wide receiver this year. Tremont, it's that time of year, it's football season. So just talk about just this season and having this media event today at Woodlawn High School.
I mean, I ain't never seen nothing like it before. It's really special. All the media here coming, to interview and support us. It's obviously, it's a good thing, but I really feel like it's a really good thing for the team because it sets exposure. It shows how good of a team we are. We have a good character and we're good student athletes.
And Tremont, I know you grew up around football pretty much all your life with your dad, Tremont, being on the staff. What has your dad really taught you, just balancing football and just life in general?
I mean, football, it comes with life lessons, and everything he taught me, it kind of balanced out between the field and the real world. So everything, it comes together.
And Tremont, talk about the recruiting process right now. Just over the summer, what are some of the camps you've been going to and some of the visits you've taken over this crazy summer?
I started off going to Clemson camp. We've been training throughout the season, the summer. So we started working our way to different spots. We would travel to Clemson, start training for that. And after that, we went to LSU. Actually, the coach, he texted my dad. He was like, we need him to come down here so we can see him, get him some more exposure. So yeah, that's been a real great process for that team.
Tremont, talk about the offers that you received so far. What are some of the schools that reach out and give you a full ride?
Right now, I don't have none. I haven't played the last 2 seasons, but this year is gonna be a show. I promise you.
Yep, and you're super excited knowing that last 2 years you didn't play. So how much more exciting is for you this year to come back after not playing the last couple of years?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been waiting on this since the day I got hurt, really, because it's been waiting. We've been anticipating this for a very long time. The moment has been building up from when I got hurt to now. So we just very thankful.
And what are some of your goals for this season, for your senior season? Because you only have one of those in high school. So what are your goals for the upcoming season?
I mean, I seem to have like 2,000 yards or like 20 touchdowns, but that all starts with the team for real. Because you can't get that without the line or the quarterback, all that. Like it starts up front. You gotta draw down the defense to make sure we run the ball, and that creates a great opportunity for them to come down and press us, for the quarterback to go to us. So that's really like it starts with the O-line for them.
I know you have a pretty good quarterback in Ricky Collins. So describe your relationship, quarterback-wide receiver relationship with Ricky.
I think that we have a pretty good relationship, on and off the field. We have with bond a lot. We also hang out 24/7. Really, so, it's a really good bonding thing we got going on. So yeah, it helps us out in the field too. That chemistry, you need that for a quarterback and wide receiver.
The last question, Tremont. What is your message to college recruiters? I know that you're trying to overcome the injury from the last couple of years. What is your message to colleges that are recruiting for a player like yourself?
I would say to myself that I think I'm a real good student, and a real good person as well. I think I have very good character, and I'm a great ball player, I feel like. So that's all I want to do.
But thanks, Tremont. Good luck this season, and I'm excited to see you ball out this year for the Panthers.
Thank you.
That happened.
Sure.
It's Clayton Adams, Woodlawn High School safety for the Panthers coming up. And Clayton, you're another veteran on this team. I know I've heard your name last couple of years. Okay, you play slot receiver. Yep. Yeah, that's right. We gotta make it clear he plays both ways for the Panthers. Another two-way star, and it's kind of rare to see a guy that plays both ways at 5A. So, as a defensive back and a receiver, what are the advantages knowing that you know what each is going to do? Like your receiver, you know what the DB is going to do, but the DB, you know what the receiver is going to do.
As wide receiver, I just know what the DB is supposed to be at, so that helps me a lot. So that's how I be getting open a lot.
Yeah, definitely. If you have to choose one or the other, okay?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. So you'd rather get the 89, 90-yard touchdown catch rather than like the 80-yard interception return for a touchdown. Okay, so I like your preference there. As a slot receiver, so you're pretty good, you're quick in your routes, and as a receiver, what do you bring to the game as a receiver? What are your strengths?
One-on-one, that's my ball, I'm a ball now, I'm going to get it.
So you like to attack the football, it's yours. And I know that you catch a lot of hard ones thrown at you because you got the quarterback like Ricky slinging it to you.
Got rocket.
So how hard is it sometimes to catch like those rifling throws made from Ricky?
It's really not hard for me because I've been playing with him since 7th grade, so it's like catch.
And how much of an advantage it is, since you have that relationship with Ricky going back to middle school, just to really have that advantage over the DB, knowing that you have that chemistry and that he's going to throw that ball before you're open?
Oh yeah, that's always like corner routes. We look at each other, it's up. We already know what it is.
You just get like a nod of the head, it's like, all right, just throw the corner. Is that your favorite route that you like to run?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As a defensive back, what do you bring to the table? What are the strengths?
Ball hawk, throw the ball now, I'm going to get it. I bait the quarterback all day.
So you have fun with Ricky there too, because sometimes he's throwing to you, and then in practice he's throwing against you. So
you try to get me sometimes.
What about the recruiting process for you, Clayton? How's that coming about right now for you?
I don't have no offers right now, but this season I'm gonna change that.
Okay. What's your 40 time?
I ain't running 40 in a minute, but the last time I ran it was 4.5.
4.5. What do you think you need to take the next step in doing to add to your game?
Blocking more. I'm blocking more.
Yep, that just adds another factor. It shows you that you're unselfish as a player when you're blocking out there. Are there a couple players that you like to watch to help you with your game, both receiver and DB?
I'm watching Debo Samuel.
Debo Samuel?
I feel like I'm similar to him, so I watch him. Cooper Kupp, not a fast wide receiver, but he's shifty.
Well, Debo plays pretty much everywhere for his team, so that's a good comparison there. And then last question, this season, there are a lot of high expectations for Woodlawn this year. This is a team that can make a state championship run. What is your message to the Panther Nation and for those guys that come and support y'all this year?
Yeah, we're going to turn up.
Turn up just like that. Clayton Adams, wide receiver, defensive back, does a little bit of everything for the Panthers. Be another guy that has a chance to play the next level for the Panthers. Jason Lejeune here, Gridiron Football. Desiree Delmore, Woodlawn High School senior receiver and cornerback. And Desiree, I just talked to my boss, Sandy. I know there will be a couple of these Panthers playing in the Gridiron Bowl coming up in December, and you're one of them. I already talked to Devin Jones. He's one as well. So just talk about the opportunity to play against not only some of the best players in the state, but also some of the best players around the country, too.
I mean, it's going to be a blessing, a good opportunity, and, I'm grateful to be able to get an invite to that and to be able to play that. So I feel like it's going to be a great experience.
Y'all are so loaded this year in the secondary. It's insane. You got yourself, of course, Jordan. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. What is the bond between y'all guys? What do y'all like to do just, off the field?
I mean, off the field, we always together, We do stuff. Let me see how I can say this. My bad.
Well, you're good.
Pretty much, we just always together. Always around each other, keeping each other humble, out of trouble, stuff like that. So, but as far as on the field, yeah, we got a lot of talent. We're going to have 11, 12 seniors on defense starting. So it's going to be our year to show what we can do.
It's very hard to play both ways in 5A, at the highest of the high. And you play wide receiver, you play defensive back. How much of an advantage it is to you knowing, like, if you're a defensive back, you know what the receiver is going to run, just basically how they launch off the line, and vice versa when you're a receiver, knowing how the defensive back's going to cover it.
Well, with that, it's a lot of film study, knowing what, certain situations, what the offense like to do, and also knowing what the receiver's favorite route is. So it's a lot of film study going to play. And instincts, sometimes you kind of know. So.
Okay, Desiree, if you had your option, a long, 85-yard touchdown catch and run for a touchdown, or an interception return for a touchdown, which one you're taking? What's your preference? Interception.
Defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships. I like that. What's a player that you like to watch to help you in your game as both a receiver and a DB? Any college or NFL guy that you like watching?
I like watching Tyron Matthews and Muda Baker. And then on the receiver side, Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, not some bad options there. A lot of the Louisiana guys too. And how does playing against a quarterback like Ricky Collins help you in your game?
I mean, Ricky, he's great. I mean, you have no choice but to get better going against him every day at practice. So it just means you got to tighten up on your technique and just actually show you how much better you got to get every day. So try to make him better too.
Desiree, what's been the recruiting process been like for you over the summer for you?
It's been kind of rough, but at the same time, it's been an opportunity that I have. I suffered with a little injury, so I couldn't really showcase or nothing like that. But at the same time, some schools, they trust me. They offer me, like Houston Baptist, Southeastern Missouri, Lane, Grambling, Southern, Nichols, and Northwestern. They all give me opportunities to come to their school, and I'm grateful for it. So. At the same time, it's been a blessing.
Last question, Desiree. What is your message to college coaches, and what are you going to bring to the table for their program once they see?
My message is stay tuned, and this shit going to be a movie.
We get to see a lot from Desiree Delmore, that's for sure, from Woodlawn High School, plays both ways for the Panthers.
Yes, sir.
Here with Woodlawn High School senior offensive lineman and defensive lineman Roy Brackens. And I know you like that mention in defensive line, trying to get that to Coach Randall. But Roy also just announced his commitment to Louisiana Tech, to the Bulldogs. So what played in that decision to commit to the Bulldogs in Ruston?
Well, actually, they found me at the LSU camp. I went to the LSU camp. I bought out. The coach had came up and talked to me. They asked me if I wanted to go to that camp. I went to that camp. I bought out, and then they offered me.
Yeah.
And who are some of the coaches that you built relationships with at Louisiana Tech?
Coach Scumby, the head coach, Coach Young, offensive line coach, and co-offensive line coach.
What do you like about Coach Cumming coming in? He's a new head coach at Louisiana Tech. What do you think he really brings to the program and the rest of the
He really just brings like a new vibe, like new energy. Like school, like I feel like they really needed that change. Like he just brought. I feel like my class coming up. We got the #1 recruiting class in Central USA. I feel like we about to change that whole school around.
Yeah, I mean, also the schedule is going to get you ready for the next level too. Any school on this schedule this year that you're looking forward to playing the most?
Zachary, because you know that game's supposed to be nationally televised.
Yeah, get to see you on the ESPN with the Louisiana Tech commit graphic and all that for you. So that's going to be a pretty cool opportunity. For your senior season, what do you want to improve on the most before you go to Louisiana Tech?
I want to be more aggressive this senior year. Like I want to make sure I finish every block, give 100% every play, leave no doubt on the field.
Yeah, leave no doubt on the field. And then also this year for y'all, what's just been the message Coach Randall has preached to y'all, knowing that this can be a team that can go to the Dome?
The message he just preached us is just like, don't do nothing crazy. Don't mess this up. Because we got a big opportunity. We got an amazing opportunity in front of us. We shouldn't mess this up with like nothing stupid. Like don't hang around the wrong crowd. Like he always says every single time before school starts, we've been here this whole summer. Now they about to have 1,000 more kids come in. Just don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Stay on your mind. You know your goals.
On the offensive line, what positions have you played over your career? Every position. So center, guard, tackle, everywhere.
I played center last year.
Yep.
But I'm moving to tackle this year.
Yep.
I played tackle my freshman and sophomore year. Then I moved to center my junior year. Now I'm playing tackle again my senior year.
At Louisiana Tech, do you know where they might want to line you up as?
Anywhere in the interior.
Okay. Is there a preference for you? Do you prefer center or?
I just want to play.
You just want to play. Just go on the field. And what do you think do you enjoy most? Pass blocking or run blocking?
Run blocking.
Run blocking. Yep. I know that you're preaching on getting on defense a little bit, so I know defensive line is something that you really want to play for. How much do you enjoy playing on the defensive line when you get opportunities?
I never actually got the chance to play it.
I know.
Like throughout my whole football career, I never played defensive line.
Wow. Okay.
I always play offensive line. That's the crazy part. Like you know, some people like start off with defensive line and switch. Like I've never played defensive line. I've always played O-line.
And guess what? Coach Randall's getting this video, and we're gonna make sure that Roy Brackens gonna play on the defensive line this year. Check it out, Roy Brackens, Louisiana Tech commit, plays everywhere on the offensive line. He's trying to campaign for some playing time on the defensive line, but check out this future Bulldog out this year in 2022.
Hope y'all enjoyed those interviews with a lot of the Woodlawn senior key players for the upcoming season, and we had fun. Those guys are really talkative. Not a lot of shy guys in that group, right. Proud to say. So that's really good knowing that y'all have those voices in the locker room when times are tough. These guys aren't shy, and they should be able to be that voice when times are tough.
Yeah, man. So that's what we and that's one of the things too that we preach. I mean, we're not looking for just somebody that to lead. Man, everybody can lead. Anybody can lead. You don't even have to be a senior to lead. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what we trying to build leadership and build leaders over there.
Yeah, and as far as like this upcoming season, it's going to be even more interesting with this district just because all these guys from all these schools know each other, and especially the top guys we'll talk about. It's an interesting last couple of days because all these guys that know each other are committing around the same time.
Right.
Like Shelton Sampson from Catholic High, he announced his decision to commit, and you can actually see the ceremony if you go back to Gridiron Football on the Facebook page. You can see the whole ceremony. We actually filmed it live as it happened. So that was this past weekend, and Ricky was there. Ricky and his teammates were there to support him. And then just a couple of days later, we're approaching tomorrow, which is actually, this is taped today, but it's actually going to air tomorrow. But after you watch this, Ricky's going to be committing. So he's going to have his commitment announcement at Mason's Grill. And I believe you can catch it either here. We'll actually have it on our Facebook page. We'll film the decision live. Or I know he's got it on the Colada Show, so I'll be streamed there as well. So a lot of opportunities coming up for commitments with Ricky, and then Jordan's going to be next week, the 15th.
Yep, the 15th.
Yep. So all that coming together. Colin Jackson from Zachary, the safety, he's committing on Saturday. So all these guys that really know each other, they're committing around the same time.
Right. I think a lot of those guys trying to actually get the commitment out the way so they can focus on the season. And just like you said, man, a lot of these guys are supporting each other. No matter if they're going to the same school or not. I mean, a lot of these guys grew up together, grew up either playing on the same little league team or playing against each other. So they've been knowing each other pretty much, all their lives. And I just think it's just great for those guys that their families, man, their families getting to experience something like none other. And and they're and one thing, they're handling it very well. None of them are doing anything crazy. That they're handling it almost like a professional, and that's what is more intriguing and good for me to see.
Yeah. Well, I have to give a shout out to Will Stout, who did a video for Shelton Sampson, the commitment video, because me and him were editors at the old barely published newspaper for Catholic Highs.
Right,
now he's doing his thing, and I'm doing my thing. So it's good that former editors are kind of showing their stride right now. So really good news if you're LSU, if you're looking at it this way, because of all these kids. They have the conversation like, man, let's come together and let's come win a championship together for whatever team that we choose. And right now, LSU's off to a good start. We have to see how the rest of the announcements come along the way, but off to a good start in that aspect. So, yeah, just these last couple weeks have been crazy. I know I got a notification on my phone last week about Ricky decommitting, and my phone, I can't imagine what Ricky's phone was like.
Right.
But my, my phone was blowing up pretty much too. Being a quarterback too, and just really knowing the game, knowing what this college recruiting is like. What was your message and that conversation with Ricky after he announced his decision to decommit from Purdue?
Well, he actually talked to me beforehand, and we went through all of the all the pros and cons of what's been going on, and how it's been going up until this point before we make any decision like that, and obviously all of the pros checked out for him to go ahead and decommit. I will say that the guy that initially recruited him there, that got him to fall in love with Purdue, Coach Biaggi, ended up leaving during the spring. I thought almost that would be something early on that would make him kind of reconsider at that point. But he and Coach Brom still kind of stayed close, and he was still in with Purdue all the way until up about to the last month that he kind of started having questions and wasn't kind of feeling some of the same ways that he was feeling back when he committed way before last season. So I mean, now that he decommitted, he's opening back up. He's had a chance to kind of reevaluate everything. Took a lot of calls from a lot of different people. A lot of different coaches, started calling in after they saw the decommit. Guys that still had him on their board even though he was committed. And now he's had a chance to sit down and see what actually makes sense now. So I think he's ready to make that commit.
Yep, and it's going to be probably a couple hours after you watch this show. So August 10th, Mason's Grill, and it's going to be 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, Mason's Grill. Make sure to check the announcement live on Facebook, on the Gridiron Football Facebook page. And if you can't make that, or find the Gridiron Football Facebook page, I know Jory Colada is streaming it as well. And then that's not the only Panther that's going to be committing in a couple of days. Jordan is as well.
Correct.
So August 15th, and it's going to be at Woodlawn High School. Is the time kind of set right now, or?
I know it will be during school. I'm just not sure about the exact time.
Okay, cool. So August 15th is going to be at Woodlawn High School, and I know Jordan narrowed down his decision to Tennessee, Texas, and Michigan. So,
correct.
Yep, and I know I talked, and I was in the video that you just saw when I talked to Jordan about narrowing that decision to those three. And coaches from the outside with those three colleges, it made sense for you that he chose those three schools just based off, his communication with them.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, obviously he had offers from all over, and he took his visits. He talked to different coaches. He actually went through the process. Now his dad actually knows this process in and out too. Sean Matthews, former LSU guy, former Southern, former Chicago Bear. So he knew the process, and they've been through it already with his older brother. That's at McNeese right now. So they had a chance to really understand what's going on. Really ask the right questions as they were going through the process, and he had a chance to just see a lot of beautiful places in the midst of it. Stanford, you don't really get a chance to really go to a Stanford because it's more than just football you gotta have. I mean, Jordan's a 4.5 guy, so even if he didn't have football, he would still be going to college for free. So that's the kind of guy that we talking about here, and he's gonna make somebody a real good defensive coordinator or a DB coach.
That's a fact. And I talked to Rashawn, called up for a little bit because I did an article on Rashawn and the older brother who's actually playing. I mean, he's playing receiver right now. It's coming full circle now because I'm now catching up with him again, and now he has a younger son.
Right.
And then actually, he said he's got a daughter coming up playing volleyball. She's probably the best athlete of the third.
I know that. She could definitely jump.
Yep.
Right.
So shows you the athletes in that family.
Right.
And before we move on to LSU football, Coach, as far as Ricky, I know you obviously you're not going to tell us, but just kind of give us a sneak preview of what we should expect when we tune in at 7:00 tomorrow.
He's like I say, he's took this process over the last few weeks after decommitting and sat down and he's looking at this thing and narrowing it down. I like where he is. I like where he is in the process. I like where his mind is. I like where the family is right now and their mindset on being able to open that commitment back up and now with all of the options and all of the everything on the table, all of the information. I think y'all gonna see him make a great decision.
Well, I know the folks in Baton Rouge are hoping he makes the decision to go to LSU, but we'll see how that goes. And I tell you what, we're going to support him no matter where he decides to go.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited that he is getting that opportunity to play college football, which is what not a lot of people can say that they can do. So make sure to tune in to that. And then we'll have an exclusive with Ricky, too, because Andy told me for Gridiron Football, we're going to have our magazine coming out next month, and we'll have a feature on Ricky talking about his decision and what played in the decision. But that's going to be exclusively just in the magazine when it comes out next month. So make sure to get that digital version when it comes out a month from now. So that's pretty much it for, as far as commitments go. And we can talk about some LSU football, Coach.
Let's get it, man.
Let's get it. It's that time of year.
That time of the year. I think the first game going to come down to the decision that's going to be made tomorrow, huh?
Yep, that's right. That is right. True. And I know that you're around LSU a lot, and I know that there was a recruiting event last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago on Friday.
So how did that event go?
It went well. It was the BK Splash. I think that, first of all, I just need to say that I think, Brian Kelly and his staff has done a great job thus far coming in. I know they came in kind of slow, but I think they just had to get their feet wet. His whole recruiting board was a Notre Dame recruiting board, and now you had to kind of come down here, see what it's like down here in the South, see what the atmosphere like. I think he's then jumped on board. He and his coaching staff, like I say, you got guys Brad Davis, you got Hankton over there, man. You got obviously Coach Joe Sloan, and you brought my guy back from New Orleans.
Frank Wilson.
Frank Wilson.
Yep.
So he done a great job of putting guys around. It almost feel like that LSU feel back when I signed there in 2000, Saban's first year. Saban came in with the goal of locking down Louisiana, and you see what that what that did for us back then in 2000, coming off those 2 or 3 losing seasons. So I kind of feel that same feel. I'm starting to look at how they're building this 2023 class, and it kind of giving me that same kind of feeling that that came the year, in Saban's second year. That's when we had Marcus Fields, Mike Clayton, a lot of those guys, Marquise Hill, a lot of the guys that was from Louisiana that stayed in Louisiana, and you see 2 years after those guys got there, we were playing for the national championship and winning the national championship. So I kind of feel that same kind of fear right now with what Brian Kelly's doing.
Yeah, it's a great comparison because really their philosophy is they're really no nonsense guys, and they have a plan, they have a vision, they're organized in that way. So they're very similar to their approaches, and that's a good comparison with this 2023 recruiting class, and of course back when you signed. Because it's all these guys that grew up with each other.
Playing with each other. And again, when we talk about winning championships, we said it earlier, chemistry is big. And not only on the field, but off the field. So a lot of guys know each other, hang with each other. And I just think that's a recipe for success.
Yeah, this is a very important week for LSU, no doubt about it. No matter how it goes, it's definitely going to be important. So being a former LSU quarterback and being involved with these quarterback battles too during your time at LSU, I know we're going to address the quarterback situation at LSU. So just based on your experience, what was it like, being the guy and also the young kid coming in that has that upside, that talent, and just battling him just every day in practice? I mean, being part of a quarterback battle, what is that like at LSU?
I mean, it is what it is. It's a battle. I mean, just what you said, it's a battle week in and week out, but iron sharpens iron. And there's no doubt why we had the teams that we had, because it wasn't just at the quarterback position, it was at every position. Even though I know the quarterback position is a special one to have that kind of battle, because only one can play at a time. And that is the thing. Basically coming in as a freshman, seeing these guys, knowing that I was going to pretty much redshirt that year, but seeing guys like Josh Booty in the room, Rohan David in the room, Craig Nall in the room, these guys, they were in the battle. It was a three-way battle coming in, so I got a great taste of it without being in it right when I got there. And all those guys competed, and pretty much all those guys had a chance to go to the NFL. So that tells you what kind of battle they were in. And then as to those guys leaving, and then myself, Matt Mock, having that rotation my sophomore year and my junior year, and then my senior having that rotation with Jamarcus Russell, another big time guy that was coming in. But through all of that, man, you saw nothing but us pushing each other, making each other better, and that's why we was able to have the success that we had.
And that's a lot of talent in one quarterback room. I mean, every single year that you had to go through. It wasn't guaranteed who the quarterback was just because there was so much talent, and it's like that this year. And I know you can relate a lot to Miles Brennan because every year he's in a competition, but he's stayed the course. You gotta give credit to him that he stayed the course, and he's embraced that competition, and he's got himself a chance to win the quarterback job. But it's not easy when you're going against Garrett Nussmeier and Jane Daniels coming in, who's very talented, start Pac-12 games, and then you have a guy of the future coming up in Walker Howard. So. I mean, that's a very interesting quarterback competition, and it can go multiple different ways.
Right. Well, and with the league that we playing in, man, there's no guarantee that one quarterback gonna last all year long. So you definitely need them in the room. And you need everybody prepared like they are the guys still, even if they're not the guy right now. My sophomore year, Matt Mott got the nod to be the starter. But 4 or 5 games in playing in Florida, he breaks his foot, and I had to start the last 8 games without rotation. So those are some of the things when you playing big time football or just playing football period that's going to come with the game. So you definitely want to have the depth in there. You want to have guys that's ready to go. So you want to definitely keep that room like that.
And there's always opportunities, even though, let's say, Coach Kelly names a starter, whoever it is. There's still going to be opportunities because we've seen it year in and year out that, for example, got pulled out in the national championship game, and then here comes Tua Tagovailoa coming in, so Jalen Hurts, and he embraced it too, and Jalen Hurts got his opportunity next year
to come back. So that's how the game works, and then you see all those guys balling in the NFL now too as well. So I mean, you when you at university like that, man, you're gonna always have a chance to get top talent guys in there. So you can't get comfortable. You gotta keep pushing, and I think that's what makes the teams better.
Well, this quarterback competition's more unique, I guess, than years past. Not only because there's 4 guys in it, but it's 4 guys with totally different skill sets. So that makes it the offensive coordinator, Coach Denbrock and Coach Sloan, their job even harder, knowing, okay, what kind of offense we want to run and who best fits that offense. So there's a lot of factors going on, except who's the most talented quarterback.
And that's kind of rare when you start talking college or NFL, because most guys are going to go out and just get guys that fit whatever they say their system is that they're running. So like you just said, man, a lot of those guys have different skill sets, different talents. So I mean, whoever the guy is, Coach Denbrock going to have his work cut out for him to carve in that offense around that guy.
What are you most excited about this LSU team? Excluding quarterback, what position group excites you the most?
Wide receivers. Wide receiver, I think they got, they brought in some young guys, four young guys that were very, very talented last year. And Brian Thomas, you got Elite Neighbors, you got Chris Hilton, and then you had Besh. And then you had Jack Besh that came in last year to go along with Butte, to go along with Jarre, to go along with a lot of the other guys that's already there too as well. So I'm looking. I know one thing, that the quarterback's gonna have some good targets to throw to.
That's without a doubt. But what, I guess, are you most concerned about with this LSU team so far?
Seeing how the running backs do, seeing how the running game, because I mean, you can't line up and throw it every down if they know you're not going to run it at all. So you got to be able to put the run game with that. I think we saw that a few years ago. Miles Brennan was throwing for gangs of yards, but we couldn't run it. And when you can't do that, that kind of hurts your offense. It makes you one-dimensional. So we definitely want to be able to run the ball. I think Coach Brad Davis is doing a great job with those offensive linemen and bringing in some big-time offensive line recruits in there. So I think the line's going to be intact, but I just want to see how those guys do in the backfield, running the ball, finding the holes, making the cutback, getting those tough yards, and making people respect us running the football.
And the offensive line, you thought there's a lot of shuffling on the quarterback position right now. There's a lot of different combinations they're working out in fall camp right now on the offensive line. So,
and that's what you want to be, man. You can have a lot of guys, but you still want to find that chemistry, find that five guy that's going to make it go, that's going to be there and be able to block it and communicate. Like I say, those guys have to be almost on a string, and you never really gonna find it until you can find those five guys that's all moving in the same direction, that's speaking the same language, and like I said, I think Brad Davis gonna find that and he's gonna make it work.
Based on what I've seen, defensive line is very talented. That's looking at all those guys, there's a lot of studs in that defensive line. So based on what I've seen, I don't think you have to worry too much about that. Secondary is really talented. It's just a bunch. It's just chemistry and a lot of new transfers coming and new guys coming in. So that's.
I think your linebackers, I just want to see where those guys are going to be. I know we lost Damone Clark last year. He was the leader in that middle. Basically, Butker's finalist. But like you said, that defensive line, I have, been reading about them and seeing a lot with Big Mason Smith. You got Jaqueline Roy. You got BJ that just got the number 18. That's going to be probably one of the top edge rushers in the country. So you got some guys right there too. So again, iron sharpens iron. So hopefully those guys are going to be competing hard in practice, making each other better. Because when you go against the best, that make you the best.
Yeah, and speaking of BJ getting 18, what are your thoughts on him getting the number 18 and Kayshawn getting the number 7 jersey?
Right. Well, I think both of them are very deserving of getting it. I mean, I think Kayshawn gonna make plenty plays. I think he's gonna be a Biletnikoff finalist, if not winning it. And like I said, I just talked about BJ. I mean, I think that his work ethic, the things he's done, in the past years have granted him that 18, and I think he's gonna make us proud in it.
Memories of playing fall camp at LSU. I mean, just going through this time of year, I know it gives you a lot of memories that they're going through.
Right.
I know there's a lot of stories, and we probably can do this for hours, but just what are your memories like, just going through what those players are going through right now?
Well, I will say this: they told me one thing that they banned 2-a-days now. That was part of mine. That was part of mine, man. So there was a lot of tired days in camp getting ready, but man, it was great time. Like I say, that's where the bonding came in. This before a lot of people even get on campus, so you kind of the only people up there getting in till everybody else start moving in. So I mean, you get a lot of good work in, and you could focus on just football at that time. School hadn't started yet, so man, camp was that time for you to hone up your skills and get everything going in the right direction for the start of the season.
And Coach, moving forward, last question for LSU: what do you like to see moving forward? Because I know the next time we're going to talk is right for Florida State week. So what do you want to see from these guys in the next couple of weeks in order to feel really comfortable about where they're at this upcoming season?
But first of all, I want to see, who's going to, come out and win the quarterback battle, because that's going to tell her what kind of offense that we're going to be seeing this year. And those are some of the things that I'm looking for. See how the defensive backs start gelling. And those are some of the things that I know they're working on now. And just to see them a week from now, I plan on going to one of the scrimmages just so I can see exactly where they are, and I have a better outcome or a better outlook, should I say, by the time Florida State gets here.
And that's a good thing you brought up about the scrimmages coming up, because I talked to a lot of media guys when I was over at LSU the last couple of days, and they haven't had a full practice open to them since Jerry DiNardo in 1999.
Right.
So now we get to actually see. Now we're not there every day, so it's just like select days that we can go over there. But Thursday we'll actually have the whole practice in Tiger Stadium. We'll get to be there, so we'll check that out. So that's going to be fun. Well, I've been posting a lot of highlights, giving my practice reports too on LSU. So check out Gridiron Football for all that. You get a daily practice report on LSU, and I also post highlights on the YouTube channel. So the fall camp highlights every day, there will be out on YouTube, so go check that out. And I also post interviews from players, coaches, as we get them too. So Coach, we're about to wrap up the show, and we'll give a couple of announcements and we can wrap it up. Obviously, after you watch the show right now, go to Facebook, Gridiron Football, where we'll stream Ricky Collins' decision live, Mason's Grill, 7 o'clock. Wednesday, which is today, August 10th, and Thursday, we practice in Tiger Stadium. So, like I mentioned to Marcus, it's going to be open to the entire media for the practice, and we'll have I'll have a live scoop for you that day for sure.
Yes,
and
indeed.
then
It's here.
and it's here. Football season's coming up. So first scrimmage in Tiger Stadium, we got to saw a lot of position group drills, a lot of that, but we actually get to see these guys go against each other. So that's what it's all about. Saturday, Colin Jackson commits at 3:30 at Zachary High School. Another big time decision is going to be either LSU or Texas A&M. I'm sure I'll be there. I'll stream that live on Facebook as well. For all LSU coverage, make sure to go to gridironfootballusa.com. We also have Diamonds in the Rough, school spotlights, commitment interviews, LSU football reports, LSU football coverage, so much more. Also keep an eye out on this month's magazine, which will be out digitally soon. Andy went out to Madison Prep.
Madison Prep, I was about to say, they're gonna be in there. People been waiting on the footage, man. We've been waiting to see it. Wide receiver high. Wide receiver high.
Wide receiver high.
Shout out Coach Anthony Jones over there.
Yep.
Landry Williams doing it big.
It makes sense. It makes sense with Landry's background as a receiver, and and Andy went over there. He said there's 12 guys that are Division I good. Like really, I was like, and I know Zion.
Any one of them can make it happen.
Yep, that's right. They got tied in too. That's really good. I know Zion's not there anymore, but based on what I've been talking to Coach Williams and Andy, they got a pretty good stud coming up as a quarterback coming up.
Tylen Johnson. I've seen him. I've seen him throw it all spring long, and actually last year that's another guy I watched since he's been with the South Baton Rouge Jaguars, played with the New Orleans Patriots. I mean, a guy that's been playing a lot of football at the quarterback position, and not only myself and you, I think everybody around the city is eager to see him take the shoes and take the reins of where Zion Chris was, and keep that Madison Prep team up at them high standard where they've been.
Yeah, I know that's big shoes to fill, but I know he can fill them, and and that's pretty much about it. I mean, a lot of stuff happening. LSU football. We got a couple of his guys committing too, so we'll make sure to give you access to that. Make sure to promote the show. This is the first time that we'll be on, and this is going to be a successful show. I know that. And Coach Randall's the first guy on.
There it is, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
Football season here, man. Let's keep it rocking and rolling, man. It's gonna be a long year. It's gonna be a great year, though.
It's gonna be a great year. Share with your family, friends, relatives, coaches, colleagues, you name it. The show will premiere every Wednesday at 5 o'clock p.m. on our YouTube channel. Just go to Gridiron Football, and it's going to be under the Chase with Jace playlist. It's going to be on our website, Facebook, and as we grow it, we'll be on more platforms and podcast platforms.
Yes, indeed.
So as the show grows, we'll make sure to be there with you, and we'd like to get y'all involved too. So if y'all have any questions about high school football, LSU football, I'm sure me and Marcus can answer them for you. But make sure to put the hashtag AskJace, and we'll make sure to answer those questions live on the show. For next week's show, how that's going to be, I'll have interviews. I went with Andy to St. Edmund High School. That was their media day. So all their schools, like Eunice High School and St. Edmund High School, all the schools in the area will have interviews with coaches, players that I did that day. That was a lot of talking, Coach.
I know it.
That was a lot of talking.
Multiple schools.
Yep.
I already know it.
Yep. Every 3 players and a coach for every school. So it was definitely a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So we'll
a lot
have
of good footage though, man.
Yep.
A lot of good footage.
We had a lot of content these last couple of
Yeah.
weeks, and we'll make sure to bring that to you. So one more thing, Marcus. This football right here, I was about 10 years old. My dad gave Coach his first high school coaching opportunity.
Oh, the June was up, baby.
Yep, coming out of the NFL at Terra High School, and that was a great staff.
Put me on the map, man.
Yep.
Put me on the coaching map, man.
And now, the first thing we talked about when y'all hired me was like how the tables turned now. Now, Marcus here is giving me my first opportunity.
Everything come back around, man, full circle, baby.
Yeah, that's what's great about this and this greatest opportunity. So this is actually his signature here. The football's a little deflated. The signature's kind of worn out.
On that, man.
Old signature back when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
But
while you talking about signature, I see a lot of my old teammates right here.
on this helmet, I want to appreciate
Blaine Best, Jimmy Courtney, Lionel Turner, Lynn Note, I see you. And my man Nick Saban right here.
Yep, Nick Saban. This is
2003, baby.
This is my buddy Cameron Cheniglia's stuff. So this is football right here. I appreciate Cameron for lending that to me. A football sign with Nick Saban, a couple guys here. He's got another helmet that's full with them. This is like, all right, I'm not letting you get the other one, which is full of signatures, but I'll let you borrow this one. So I appreciate Cameron.
I'll bring you one, man.
Okay, there we go. There you go. Marcus can hook me up. I'll make sure he hooks me up.
I got you.
I'll make sure that we're hooked up pretty good. So, Marcus, always been a pleasure having you on.
Yes, sir, man. I know that's the first of many, and man, all the great things are right ahead of us, and we going to get them, man.
And Marcus is going to be back. So starting the first week of the Florida State week, we're going to have Marcus come in each and every week to talk LSU football, and I'm sure we'll dissect film and talk about the previous games, looking up what's ahead, but we'll talk about LSU football each and every week once the first week leading up to Florida State comes, and we're going to call it Slinging It with Marcus.
Slinging It with Marcus, baby.
Yep.
And man, we're going to get it in. Man, if you're a betting man, I'm giving you all the best. I'm giving you all the best. If you bet, hey, man, get your all best good.
Well, Marcus, we're going to have fun this year. It's football. I mean, you have to have fun talking about football,
you
right?
got to, man. Yeah.
Right. So, for Marcus, I'm Jason Sojourn. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your week. And I'll always end the show by saying this, but what are you chasing?
Huh?
Good evening, everybody.
Hopefully greatness.